when Moscow wanted to drop a nuclear bomb on China. In 1969, the Soviet Union and China put their nuclear missiles on high alert. The threat of nuclear war loomed closer than ever. Let's explore why it never happened and why it came so close. The 1969 crisis had complex origins. Both countries faced internal issues. Mao led the Cultural Revolution in China. The Soviet Union had recently crushed the Prague Spring. Mao Zedong was the one who started the conflict. In early March 1969, Soviet guards halted 30 Chinese soldiers en route to Jinbao Island. Ownership of the island was contested. Border incidents had been happening since 1964, but this particular clash stood out. A Soviet force approached the island. It included 60 men, 2 armored vehicles, a car, and a truck. Chinese troops, along with 300 others on the island, unexpectedly opened fire. 7 Soviet guards, including their commander, died instantly. A fierce 2-hour firefight ensued. By the end, 31 Soviets were dead and 14 were wounded. The Soviets claimed they had killed over 200 Chinese. Both sides retreated to their territories. The Soviets prepared to counterattack. On March 15th, they launched tanks and APCs. Their target was about 2,000 Chinese troops on or near the island. The battle endured for 9 hours. Soviet aircraft carried out 36 sorties. Their artillery fired 10,000 rounds, reaching 4 miles into China. After the battle, both sides withdrew. The Soviets had around 60 casualties. They claimed to have killed over 800 Chinese soldiers. A ceasefire was signed on March 17th. On March 21st, the Soviets tried to retrieve a sunken T-62 tank. Chinese divers faced heavy shelling. They successfully retrieved the tank. It was the USSR's most advanced MBT at the time. China reverse engineered it to create the Chinese Type 69 tank. The captured Soviet T-62 is still displayed in Beijing. In August 1969, Chinese and Soviet troops clashed in Xinjiang. Both sides suffered numerous casualties. Soviet leaders were extremely angry. Moscow even contemplated a nuclear strike on China. The intense conflict caught the West off guard. The USSR and China were viewed as communist allies. They had a mutual defense treaty. The Soviets had trained and equipped China's military. However, their relationship deteriorated over time. Mao thought Moscow was hesitant to challenge the West. Things took a turn for the worse when Khrushchev took power. He denounced Stalin and initiated de-Stalinization, which Mao criticized as revisionism. He also negotiated a nuclear test ban treaty with the US. Mao claimed the USSR wanted to dominate China. Jinbao Island became the focal point of the conflict. The island had no strategic importance. It was tiny, just 0.28 square miles. It was also submerged for part of the year. Surprisingly, it nearly triggered a nuclear war. In September, both countries resumed talks. Mutual suspicion persisted throughout the Cold War. They pushed other communist nations to pick sides. China took full control of Jinbao Island in 1991. The remaining disputes were settled in 2004.